again, you won't accomplish anything great if you don't have goals. Great things don't happen accidentally. Great things happen through significant effort. And I've been laughing a lot where, some of these losers on the internet, and some black belts are still losers, by the way. And they say, it took me 15 years to get my black belt, and blood, sweat, and tears. And I'm like, yeah, you sound like a I bet I had some blood and sweat, but you do sound like a so I bet you had a lot more tears than I did.
Yeah.
I bet you had plenty of tears. So there's some of those. But you gotta stick to your goals. You gotta do it even if you don't feel like it. And then there's moments right now, I'm thinking to myself, my goals are changing a little bit, honestly. And that's not a bad thing, by the way, as I accomplished a very significant goal that almost nobody does, which is why losers don't understand it, and they make little comments on the internet. The professional fighters understand it, and I can go to the professional gyms and train with the professional fighters, and they're gonna say, oh yeah, it makes sense. Dude's pretty good. But people on the internet that haven't done shit, they're very opinionated. And I did accomplish a significant goal in a very short period of time. And at the moment, the last, I don't know, that was 2 months ago today. 2 months ago, I got that black belt. And I thought, well, I got several injuries that I needed to heal up a little bit. I think that's 80% good. Feel a lot better than I did a couple months ago because I was pushing hard. I was pushing really hard. So my body feels a lot better. I got to get a little rest. But in the meantime, I've been, I still training. I've had a couple of weeks off of training because it's rational that I should. It was the best thing for me to do. But that was already scheduled. I didn't change the schedule. And what did I do in the meantime, by the way? It's like, well, today I made, just on one stock, I made almost $600,000. Overall, I'm up a lot in my stock portfolio. My business is doing great. ClickFunnels finally got around to sending my $50 million plaque. I got that a little while ago. And which we sent the information in months ago, long time ago. But I got my $50 million, recognition of $50 million in revenue in the business, which, by the way, took 5 years. It's like $10 million a year coming into the business. What else I've been up to? I mean, just in phone calls, I had it in my head recently. I'm like, well, my body's resting a little bit. I'm taking it a little easy on my training. Let me go streamline a few expenses and, streamline the business a little bit better. So I don't just sit around and do nothing. And then I don't need to share all the details, but you were around. I had a phone call yesterday. A brief phone call, I saved $18,000.
Yeah.
And then we did a follow-up today, and I'm going to save another probably $6,000 more. And then that took a 30-minute phone call plus an email. So there's $20-some thousand. And I've thought about it, and I'm going to talk with my entire business team about this. And I think, well, let's just go streamline everything in the business. We're going to go look at everything and ask a question and say, hey, if I stop paying this expense, what system would fail? If I stop paying that person, what system would fail? And if there's not what would the cost or expense be if I cut this vendor, if I cut this expense, if I cut that expense, if I didn't have this service, I want to go look at everything that I spend money on and make sure that it's being well utilized. And I just put a random number in my head, but I'm just like, And in the meantime, I thought, everybody's asking me like, hey, where can I get a T-shirt? Where can I get a rash guard? Where can I get the? So I get those messages like, you fat loser. I also get so many messages that are nice.
But the rash guard look good on you. That's why I want to buy it, right?
I don't know. But they ask for, so I'm like, hey, let's we'll go pop those up on the website. I asked my guys, hey, put a page together and and a link, and we'll put it in the IG story and see what happens. So we're selling more than one per hour, and for like $60. And yeah, I mean that's a nice little business by itself. That's not a serious business to me. That's just something. But like even just around is like there's another nice little profit center. And a couple of my friends have been laughing with me, be like, you could just do anything and make money. People are mad at you and talking. And, nobody's mad at me. They're mad at themselves. But even losers talking. It's like, if you have attention, there's money there. And, Conor McGregor, who, he's done some brilliant things and he's done some, less than brilliant things in his life. I don't think anybody that knows much about him would disagree with that. But, he was a very good fighter, and he's an amazing marketer and promoter. Amazing. That's what he's best at. He's a very good fighter. But he's an amazing marketer and amazing promoter. He's done a fantastic job at that. Like, my favorite quote that I ever heard from the guy, Connor, says, one day they love you, the next day they hate you. Just make sure you get paid both days. So I'd like you guys to think about that as well. Is any attention you get in your life, any media attention, be grateful for that. Be grateful for the attention. Be grateful for the opportunities. If nobody is hating on you, if nobody thinks you're, you haven't done anything good yet. As soon as you do anything good, there's going to be some people that are jealous. You know any world champions that don't have some haters?
No, but I mean, you don't get hated if nobody knows you, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the whole problem is. I'm not here saying to defend somebody that doesn't need to be defended, because I told you before, in our sport, it's still martial arts, and in MMA, people make money with it, so it's professional. But martial arts is always about respect, and the only people that you really need to listen to or be proud of their comments are the people that are teaching you. Your senseis, your trainers, and if they're happy and agree with the progress you make and what you do, that's important, because you can do whatever you want to do, but there's always people there that say you do. It's always going to be like that. In our sport, there are very big high and lows in our sport, because it's a very lonely sport, People don't see that. They see all the nice things, but it's a very lonely sport, because the moment you win, everybody wants to be your friend. You cannot even recognize the people anymore, that everybody wants something from you. And then when you lose and you hear the people talking about you, you're so lonely, because they go to the next superstar or to the next guy they have to follow. So for me, it's always important. I'm training you because you are my student, And what everybody else think about it, that's not important. That's between you and me. I choose to be your student. Some people speak, yeah, the guy's paying you guys much money. Well,
No.
I told you that before. You're one of the few that respect our experience, our time. We train the best fighters in the world, or you have the world champions here in your house. Of course you pay for that time, as we do if we have to hire somebody like you for advice, because you're the best in what you do. So it's all, the problem is just people cannot see that somebody else is successful financially or whatever in sports. There's always something that they have to say, but we're used to that, and we just move on. Again, like I said before, as your sensei and the people that give you that belt, or me that give you the credits for your accomplishments, that's the only thing that matters, because the rest, it doesn't matter. It's just empty faces, people that never, you don't feel it, that whatever they say is just stuff, and there's always going to be like, and that's what I don't like. There's too many opinions. I was a fighter before, and now I'm a trainer. I stick to the real deal, and that's fights, to get people ready for fights. And if I train you the same as I train my professional fighters. Of course, the intensity is different. You're not in the MMA gym with the fighters at the moment, but I want you to be good enough that in a couple of months from now, you come to the gym, and you probably already can do that. You come to the gym and you move around with these guys. Of course, you're not going to beat the champion in the UFC, but guess what? 99% of the people can beat these people.
They can
And that's not the whole
be
goal.
the small ones.
Yeah, no, you can be the big ones too, but it's not about that. We're not in competition. We're trying to
I agree.
accomplish martial arts. We're trying to accomplish a black belt or whatever you do, and that's not to do with competition. If people want to talk about fighting, that's a whole different thing, And again, I'm not here to defending you. I'm just happy that I put the shirt on and get $25,000 extra.
Yeah.
But because Monster doesn't pay me enough, so this is good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just happy with that,
That's great. I appreciate that endorsement. I'll make sure I write you a big check.
Yes.
And
Big.
yeah, big check for the people saying this to you. You paid for those people to train you. You paid those people. No. Wait till they find out that I paid for my university degrees as well.
I wish that all these fighters would pay correctly. Professional fighters pay correctly. If they do that, things would be different.
No, I paid my coaches to help me. Of course. No, guess what else I paid? I paid for, I went to 3 universities, I paid tuition there too. You know, and I had professors, some of my professors were multi-billionaires. They weren't there for the tuition. For whatever percentage of my tuition went to them in their paycheck, they never noticed, you know? They never noticed. Some of my professors are multi-billionaires. Some of them are Nobel Prize winners, you know? Eugene Fama, Nobel Prize winner. Richard Thaler, Nobel Prize winner. Of course, if you want access to the top people, money's not enough. Money's not enough. You have to earn their respect. You have to show up and listen and pay attention. And you know, I'm a 46-year-old guy, and Henry refers. He's like, you know, you're my student. I take zero offense to that because that's the truth. Yeah, the guy's an amazing striking coach. You know, maybe the best striking coach in the world. And yeah, in that context, I'm a student, and I shut the up and I pay attention and I do what he tells me to do. And then, you know, later on I ask him a question and say, hey, if I understand right, the main intention here is to do this. We do this because of this and this because of that, and we have to be careful here and move your elbow higher like this, et cetera, et cetera. And I blather on for 5 minutes because I have a weird brain that pays attention to a lot of detail. And I ask him, you know, am I understanding that correctly? And you know, maybe he makes a correction or two, and I say, that's great. What else can I do? What can I do better? How can I make it better? What else could I do? What else could I make better? What am I messing up? I ask the poor guys the same question 20 ways so they can give me an honest answer. You know, what am I missing? What can I do better?
Or we even repeat, we do a combination, and we have to move on to the next one, and you say, let's try the other one more time, because I don't feel it like. Then we go over it again, you know. That's how serious you take it, and that's why you're a student, because you want to learn. You not want to be trained by me because I'm a good trainer. No, you want to be trained by me because you're my student, you know. You want to learn the real things, you know. And that's what I said before. A lot of these really so-called professional fighters or whatever they do, I'm curious how much they pay their coaches over the years, because a lot of these guys just move on from this one to that one. I'd always say that there's three things in my business. There's three main things. Yeah, they're going to use you for your knowledge. They abuse you physically with the pads and kicking and punching. And when they lose or when it's not good, they accuse you. That's the three main things in fight sport where we have. But that's with professional fighting. In martial arts, traditional martial arts, judo, karate, even kickboxing, that's totally different. They respect the sensei. They respect what they learn, and they'll always do, because we know it's a way of living. It's not a way of income. It's a way of living. And that you become a professional fighter, that's great if you choose that. But if not, you're still a martial artist. And that's, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, you know, for me as a trainer.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. But now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.